black and we're picking through this broken glass. Well, how could we know that our lives would be so full of beautifully broken things?
Hi, Cana. Really like the last letter, and before I start, I guess this is rather insignificant news, but you probably noticed in the last letters that anything I hold up is like reversed for some reason, like everything's backwards, you couldn't read it, but I actually figured out how to fix that, so it's fixed now. Yay. But anyway, on with the oh wait, there's another little piece of information. I'm actually in a different spot this time. I think what I'm going to do, just because I can, is film each letter from now on in a different spot in the apartment, just because. Because, you know, sometimes you just don't need a reason to do things. You just do them because you can. Because the system tells you not to. Ultimately, that's the reason, in the end, to do things. Because the system tells you not to. Fight the system. Okay, now on to beginning the letter. You actually did not tell me that your dad was in Africa. I totally didn't know that. See, I'm doing this in one take again. Here comes the awkwardness. See, it's inevitable. It's inevitable, you know. But yeah, I'm not sure what your dad does, but if figuring out can get me killed, then it's probably better I don't know. And it's probably better that I don't mention such things on a public website such as YouTube. I wonder if that... I don't know. But anyway, hopefully he's enjoying himself at least. He's making some good money. On to things that probably won't kill me. Things that I can remember that won't kill me. Right, so I tried the giraffe again. I tried drawing the giraffe again ever since, you know, you said Audrey probably would have loved it anyway, so I decided, nah, why not try again? So, I tried again, and it looks a lot better this time. It actually looks like a giraffe instead of a pig with a really long neck. So I guess I'll upload that to either your wall or Audrey's wall as soon as, you know, this video gets uploaded and onto the YouTube tubes of YouTube. Tubes. Anyway. So, yeah, I'll definitely do that, and, it looks pretty cartoony, but it's also kind of nice. The spots were kind of difficult, though, because, I don't know. It was kind of difficult doing them, making them look like actual giraffe spots, and not making it look like some kind of zebra, or something that has measles, or chicken pox, or herpetogonosyphilates. What? I didn't say anything. Alrighty. Now that's out of the way. I think the next part of the notes, what was it? I have it right here on my fancy little armrests that work very well. Well, oh, right. The next thing on the notes, it was apparently very, very important. It reads, "You don't look like crap. Shut up." See, I even have it in all caps. If you can see that. Yeah, it's even in all caps. So it obviously must be a big deal. Anyway, it's also weird getting used to the camera that's not horizontal anymore, because in my perception, it looks like I'm pointing my hands to the left, but it's actually pointing them to the right. Oh, anyway, The funny thing is, I found the comics like about maybe 30 minutes to an hour after I posted that letter. I found them. They were hiding behind a small or a bigger notebook that for one of my classes. So that explains why I couldn't find it, because it wasn't in plain sight, and I'm a dumbass. So here they are. I put them in this book. I guess a little few highlight points. This is the Amazon box that they get. What else is there? This is where they start climbing. So they climb for a while. And then they finally make it up, but they forget the scissors. So they're kind of just standing there looking really awkward. And, if I can get the page to turn. That is when they improvise and use... what way does it work? Oh, this way. This is where they improvise and use Pyconi as a pair of scissors. Stay up. Yeah. So they use Pyconi as a pair of scissors, and it doesn't really go that well for him. Because you can see all the blood and the incredibly damaged Pyconi and the suffering and the torment and the whatnot. And then the box falls on him. It's pretty vicious, and as you can tell by the splatter, it's very kid friendly, as you know. So they try to get him out, but I'm still getting used to this. Bah. So they try to get him out, but they rip out his arm instead, which that's lovely. And then they end up scraping him out with a crowbar, and it's really disgusting. And then he's all better in the next panel, because that's how comics work. They sustain a lot of damage, probably would kill a human, but then in the next panel they're totally fine and dandy. And then nothing. So that's about all I have at the moment. But when I get more funny ideas, I will keep drawing it. I'm not sure if I mentioned this, but I think the plot is going to be, what's in the box is an airship, and basically they're going to go on adventures in the airship and become pirates. So they will be airship pirates, and that will lead them to very interesting places. Now that's of course conditional on the fact that I actually come up with something funny. So hopefully I can, and hopefully it'll keep going. What's next? You said that your dad won't let you get a dog, but you want a hedgehog too. You should get a hedgehog. Just they're easier to take care of. I think you could just keep them in a little box. Well, not necessarily a box. I don't want to call it a tank, but a cage or something. You could keep it somewhere, and it will be easier to take care of, and it's cute. And eventually they will run fast. Eventually nerds that grew up on Sonic will grow up to become scientists, and they will try to make that come to life. They will try to make Sonic live in reality, and then hedgehogs will breed from him, and then they will have the ability to run at light speed. It will happen in the next maybe 400, 500 years. maybe if that. I shouldn't put an estimate. It will happen though. I'm confident that it will happen. So there's your crackpot theory of the day. Next, you mentioned you had a Genesis. I'm jealous of that. Genesis would have been awesome. I had a Super Nintendo though. I think that was my first one. Yeah, I remember that. But what's even more disturbing is that you mentioned that you did not get an N64 or have never ever had one. Get one. Now. Do it. Get an N64 because you are missing out on so much. N64, it made my youth magical. All the happy times, all the frustrating, head-bashingly horrible times, most of it came from N64. I don't know how you've gotten this far without getting an N64, but you need to get one. They're cheap. I'm sure they're cheap and you can get one easy. So, do that. I implore you to do that. Trust me, it'll work out much better for you in the end. I'm not familiar with that Pocahontas game that you mentioned, although you were saying that it might have been a little stupid, but of course I can't really talk since my main game back then was like some Speedy Gonzales game on Super Nintendo. It was like some platform jumping game, and I could never beat it because it got so hard. And it was one of those games where you, it's like like one of the old games where you only have a set number of lives and continues and no save points, so you have to go all the way back to the beginning if you get a game over. It's one of those kind of games, and I could never for the life of me beat it. I got incredibly close once. I was on a roll, and then I died, and it just and then I rage quit basically. So if I could find that game again, I probably would play it. There's actually a lot of games that would fall under that category. What's next? But then again, I could also get an emulator and do it that way because they are incredibly awesome. Like I used to not have a DS for a while, and when I wanted to play, I think I wanted to play Pokemon. I wanted to play some of the new ones because I kind of fell off during the whole Ruby Sapphire thing. That was the last series of games I played. I wanted to pick that up again, so they have a free DS emulator, they have a free Game Boy emulator, they have pretty much everything under the sun. If you can find it, they can emulate it. With the exception of like the new stuff, they can't really do that. But retro consoles, you name it, it's probably emulated somehow. So I would use that. It's really cool. And there's also sometimes people mod games. Like I got this version of Pokemon that was really horrifically messed up. I wish I could put it into words how messed up it was, but it was pretty entertaining. So just the world of emulation, man. It's pretty neat. I mean, you could get an N64 that way, although if you could get your hands on an actual system and console, that would be much better because you need to see how awkward it is to hold that controller. Here, let me get the controller. Look at this thing. How do you hold this thing? It's like most of these games use a control stick, so you kind of just like hold it like that. I don't know. I'm gonna put this back now. But as you could probably guess, I was a Nintendo fanboy. I was pretty hardcore Nintendo fanboy. I had a Super Nintendo, N64, GameCube. I didn't personally get the Wii myself. My parents got it because they wanted to use it. Although my brother and I kind of ended up using it more than they did. But yeah, pretty much diehard Nintendo fanboy. But despite this, I never really played Zelda a whole lot. I was terrible because basically what I did was I don't know, I just sucked. I don't know how else to put it. I just sucked. Although I did have a couple interesting experiences. Let's see, Wind Waker, I could never get past that fortress because I always got caught somehow, and then I just got thrown back in the dungeon, and after like the 35th time of getting thrown back into the dungeon, I just gave up. Yeah, that was interesting. But even more interesting was, I think it was last summer on a whim, I decided to just pull out Ocarina of Time and play that, and I've never beaten it before. My brother beat it though, and I still remember that. That was pretty good. But what happened was I was in the Great Deku Tree, and there's this part where you're supposed to fall down like a really long way and end up in the water. Well, right as I fell and right as I was about to hit the water, the game glitched, and it just froze there, and Link was kind of tucked in very awkwardly. I'm not sure how to put it, so I'll just be blunt. His head was kind of out of his ass. It looked really uncomfortable to watch, and I'm sure it was really uncomfortable for him. So, out of mercy for the game and for him, I just turned it off and didn't do anything else with it. Although, I might try it again eventually. I mean, I have it here in the apartment with me, so if I get bored and I decide I want to be not terrible, then I will give it another try and see what happens. Although, I have to say, the game I've been playing lately is, I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's Katamari Damacy. Basically what that game is about is you take a giant ball. It's yeah, you just take a ball. You are a character called the Prince. He's green and really small, and he takes the ball and he rolls it around Earth, and the ball picks up everything it rolls up. It just stays in there. It's like rolling a snowball, except instead of using snow to build up the Katamari, that's what the ball is called. You use pencils and other household appliances and flowers and plants until you eventually move up to fences and chickens and bottles, and then you move up again to animals and people, to buildings and towers and bridges, until you roll up countries and islands and basically just the entire world. It can get to a point where you roll up the entire world and there is literally nothing left to roll up. I've gotten to that point a couple times and it's pretty entertaining, although after there's nothing to roll up it gets really boring. But that game is loads of fun. I think it's only on Sony. Actually, no. There is a Katamari game for the 360. So, if you want something really easy to pick up and just really weird, there you go. It's probably only like $20 anyway, too. The Cana games are really cheap, and it's ultimately worth it, I think. You asked me if I had an Xbox. I don't. I honestly never really liked the Xbox because I don't know. To me, all it had was first-person shooters, and I am not good at those, and I probably never will be good at those. The only thing I'm good at when it comes to first-person shooters is killing myself, and I have turned it from an unfortunate incident into an art form. It's great, especially in Halo, because sometimes it's as simple as getting out the grenade launcher, pointing down, and pulling the trigger, and then just watching yourself fly off the building. It's pretty enjoyable. Last day of high school, senior year, Jake and I went to the game room in Crestwood, and he and I and a couple friends played Halo, but while they were busy killing each other, I was killing myself, and I was probably having way much more fun than the other three combined. And the scores at the end were pretty entertaining because it was like 25, 18, 22, and then there was me at the bottom with negative 115. I'd have to say that was my crowning achievement in first-person shooters. To this day, I am still very proud of that. I think I got a negative 255, but that once a few years ago, but that's disputable because I barely even remember it. So yeah, I'm not really a fan of first-person shooters or the 360 for that matter. Although I'm not ruling out a change of heart, but as of right now, I think I'm going to stick with my GameCube and PS2 and PS3. Although I'm still mad that PS3 cut out backwards compatibility right as I was about to get it. The PS4 probably won't have it either. They're saying that it's going to run on something completely different, and it won't have any backwards compatibility whatsoever. And if so, then I'm not buying it. Yeah. Rant over there. Although I do hear a lot about Call of Duty, like Black Ops, all that kind of stuff, and I'm not surprised that people are complaining about the new one on Xbox, because, you know, it's Xbox Live. I mean, you kind of have to admit it's... I mean, the combined maturity of Xbox Live is comparable to a fetus, and that's putting it nicely. Most games you talked about, I didn't really play myself, but my brother loved them, and I always would watch him play, and it was pretty entertaining. Fable was one of those games. I think... Oh, no, it's what happened. No, why did you do that? Why did you... Oh, where did you go? That's not nice. I need you. Why did you do that? Oh, there you are. I guess you'll go there for now. Anyway, what I was trying to say before my notes decided to be rude, Fable was one of those games, and I think what's weird is the thing that I remember most is that there was this function where you would press the down button and you would just rip one. I know. But still, you gotta admit, them putting that in the game is pretty funny. And I actually did try playing Assassin's Creed, but I don't know what happened. I mean, I probably would pick it up again, but everyone around me has 360s. Like, I'm literally the only one I know with a PS3. Well, maybe not literally the only one I know, but the only one I know around here that has a PS3. But yeah, I started to get kind of bad at it, Assassin's Creed, although I'm open to picking it up again at some point. As for the poster, I'm still trying to find a place for it. But before you go, how hard is it to find a place to put a poster? It's actually not that easy, considering basically every other wall or other possible place to put a poster is already there. So I just need to figure out where it'll go, but it'll go up. I'm glad that I was able to help somehow with the story. Personally, I would not have complained if you went with Untitled. I would have loved to hear that. you probably would have to brush up a lot on a lot of science and theories of paradoxes and whatnot. I would too, but I'm sure that would be interesting. I mean, it probably wouldn't be very well received over at the fanfiction site you write at, but you know, it'll still be pretty entertaining, I thought. But either way, I didn't think you guys would, use those titles. I was kind of just messing around, but I was glad I could help, at least somehow. I'm disappointed that Carson won't get tased, but I guess I'm okay with her getting backhanded. Like you said, pain is pain. And I can't even remember why I wanted her tased anyway, so fair enough. And, oh, what else? What was the next thing you talked about? There was a story. Then there was school. That's right. School's going well for me too, although last week and this week have been the weeks of many tests. Like, literally all the tests for my classes have been in between these 2 weeks. And I've still got one more to go tomorrow, philosophy. So hopefully that'll go well. I think I'm doing somewhat okay so far, as far as the tests go, but I probably could be doing better. But nonetheless, I'm not failing, and as Jake, Jonah, and I ultimately decided, the goal of college is not to, get A's and be fantastic and wonderful. The goal is to not fail. Or that's my goal anyway. Just to, not fail and not make a total ass of myself. The last thing, between this letter and between the previous letter and this letter, my second album actually came out in full, New Road, so that's on Bandcamp, so if you haven't heard that yet, there you go. And, I think that's it. Well, this thing is 28 minutes. Oh my goodness. I don't even know how it got to be that long. So, I guess to not turn this into an epic letter of some sort, I'm gonna sign off. So, I can't wait to hear from you again. And, I love you too. And I'll see you later.
With fire